This is the Blackjack tire repair kit, and it's definitely the best tire plug kit that I've ever owned. For years, I've always used the standard cheap ones that you get at an auto supply store. And the problem with those is that you don't get a lot of leverage. And B, this stem right here, when you go to push it in, will many times just bend on you. They're not made for hard use. And a lot of times to get through the tire, you really need to put in a lot of leverage. I do have a video on my YouTube channel where I do plug a tire with a cheap kit, and you see me struggling. If I would have had this at that time, I would have had a much easier time. So in general, if you step on a nail, and if you could just see it, you could just pull it out, and you start by shoving this into the hole. Oh, there you can see. There, it's a little loose. So that's something I was going to get to, that sometimes these will loosen up on you. And I've actually found the screws just sitting in here when I go to use it. So it would be a good idea to maybe put some blue Loctite, and you just tighten it up with the included tool. It does come with a second stem for this guy, which you can see is shorter. And I guess just for standard use, you could probably use this one. Maybe this is for thicker tires, maybe for off-road tires. And the standard way to find, if you don't know where you're losing air from, you just take a little spray bottle with water and soap, and you could try to spray it onto the tire while it's on there, especially if it's a front tire. You could just turn it to the side and try to find it. If you have a harder time, then you could just remove the tire completely, and you'll definitely find it that way. I really highly recommend this. It's about $50, maybe a little more, and they really do work very well. As soon as I found these, it's a breeze. It's really enjoyable to change out, to repair your own tire, and not having to rely on like professional. And it's pretty simple to do. So when you finally find that nail or screw, you pull it out and you shove this in there. And that'll maybe widen the hole a little bit. You could also use a drill bit and a drill. That works too. And what you do is you thread this plug. There's different sizes depending on how big the hole is, but you just thread it through there and pull it to approximately the halfway point. And you could apply a little lube that comes with this just to make it easier to insert. And you just shove it in there. And then as soon as it gets to maybe about there, you don't want to go too far, because if you push it all the way in, then you'll actually lose the plug. So you want to go enough that you get a good piece in there, have some sticking out. And then when you go to pull out, there's a little split right here, and it'll leave the plug in there. It does come with an included little razor blade, and then you could just cut the rest off. You don't even have to, but if you don't want to feel that little thump till it wears out, you could cut it off. Maybe leave a little bit, just so that maybe it doesn't fall back in. But I've never had a problem with it. And generally, you could probably just use the shorter one that you could switch out right there. But I just, the way I just happen to have it set up right now. And yeah, it comes with a little reversible screwdriver and valve stem remover as well. I do highly recommend this for anybody. And it's gotten me out of a lot of situations. I must have plugged my own tires tons of times, and for other people as well. And it's really, I think, something that nobody should be without in their own cars. Yeah, so I highly recommend it. And yeah, that's about it.